We're in the dark.
We look a little younger in the dark.
Everybody put your cell phones on and point them towards me.
So how much fun was that, everyone? I think the first movie was the highest grossing romantic comedy of all time. My Big Fat Greek Wedding won, but I think this was every bit as much fun, if not more. I mean, I think it was great.
Did you think so?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, I had a good time. I watched it tonight. I went to the premiere in New York, and I was so nervous that I don't think I saw it. I mean, I watched it, but I didn't see it. And tonight I saw it, and I just think everybody was really wonderful.
Well, you heard the feedback, so I think everyone, I know we all enjoyed it. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with Lainie's background, she has been a nominee for a Golden Globe, an Emmy, and a Tony. I mean, that covers all bases. That's pretty impressive. So, an illustrious career. So we're so happy to have you here.
I'm so happy to be here. And I just want you guys to know I'm Jewish.
We knew that.
No, because people speak Greek to me. And all I say is, it's Greek to me.
Well, I think one of the things we've talked about is that this movie, although it's based on the Greek family, it's really sort of ethnic.
Yes,
You know, it could be a
everybody
Jewish
identifies
family.
with it. Everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, even Protestant white folk, because of his family. You know, I think it just speaks to everyone.
Well, did you have a colorful upbringing, or?
I had a very colorful upbringing.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom she thought she was an actress, but she wasn't, except when we were home. But she had a streak in her hair, and she was beautiful, and she always would tell me I'm so shy, but she wore glasses with grapes hanging off of them. And I said, Mom, a woman who is shy would not wear those glasses. And my daddy, he was a bookie. He was a bookmaker, and I thought he was in publishing. So we'd go to school, and my mother would say, "What did you say? What did you say?" I said, I told him Daddy made books. So we lived wherever the track was open.
Oh, that's great. I read somewhere that the first time the cast was all together since the wrapping up of the first film was when you got ready for this film.
Right.
So how was that? How was it getting back together?
Incredible. But first, let me just say that we're very close, all of us. We have had dinner or lunch once a month for the last 12 years. And we love each other. And I think that you see that when you watch the film. You can tell that we know each other very well. I think that's part of, you know, the intimacy that people feel when they watch the movie.
Yeah, you definitely feel the closeness of everyone.
Yeah, and we were so happy to be back on the set. And one night we were having dinner, and all those months, years, I would say to Nia, "When? What? Well?" And she said, "Finally, we're doing it now," and it was just a great feeling.
And the new members of the cast, the daughter.
We opened our arms.
Good. I read also somewhere that the theme is, like, I put in quotes, "How do you love and still let go?"
Oh, that's interesting.
I read that
I
somewhere.
never heard that before.
Yeah, I read it in something we got from the I guess Universal last night. With your husband on the screen, Michael.
I love him.
Yeah, he
is so tender and so, oh my God, sometimes he'll look at me and I die inside. Yeah, he's just a beautiful man. I think who you are comes across when you're on screen in front of a camera.
And I also read somewhere that the first day of filming, I think, of this movie was your birthday?
Yes, it
Is that right? So that must have been kind of special.
Yes, it was beautiful. And we all went out to a Greek restaurant afterwards.
You were in Ontario for this one? And
We were in Toronto.
Oh, Toronto?
Toronto.
Okay.
Toronto for the first one and Toronto for this one.
So I guess we've kind of touched on it, but why do you think the first film, and I'm sure the second film, have been so successful? What do you think about?
I think because it communicates to everyone. I mean, everyone feels in some way that's like my family, that's like your family, that's like everybody's family on some level, somehow. Don't you think?
Oh yeah, I do too. So I don't want to dominate the time. I wondered if there are any questions, and I know Eliza has a microphone, so I don't want to be the only one up here hogging the time.
Are those actual cell phones?
Yes.
I
Very
could,
good.
Could you believe
I'm
it?
kind of feeling important right now. Yeah. I know it's not about me, but does anyone have a question about the movie? Or yes, over here, over on this side here. Can you want to stand up and see if you can just yell it out, or wait for Eliza?
Thank you. So this is about a great family, and you just
Whoa.
that was me. And you said that we all know that you are Jewish. How you think the link between the Jewish part and you and the character that your character?
Playing. You mean what's the difference, or what's the similarity?
What's the link?
The link.
Similarities.
The similarity.
Yeah.
Well, I think we love to eat. We love with our hearts. I think there's very little difference, really, except for the accent and some physical gestures. I think that the Jews for centuries have been apologizing. And the Greeks don't. It's like something like that. So I think that's about all I could discover for myself when I went and I cooked with a Greek family. Before the first film, I got very involved. I went and lived with this Greek family for weeks. I didn't live and sleep there and everything, but I would wait till dinner, and dinner was over, and it was a great big family. So I had a wonderful time with them, and I observed them, and they helped me with my accent and with everything. It was wonderful.
That's pretty. Oh, my mic's there it is. That's pretty cool. I was going to ask you how you developed sort of a Greek persona.
Yeah,
That
just
sort
like
of answers
that. Yeah, I worked with another Maria. Her name was Maria, and I found her through the maitre d' at the Greek restaurant. What's it called in the valley?
Great Greek.
Thank you. The Great Greek. Yeah, that's where I found her.
And I have a Greek friend, and she said that her father used to use Windex to clean everything. Did they
Really?
Yeah, that's what she said. Did they use Windex? No.
Not that I know of.
Any other questions?
Oh, come on.
Yeah, come on.
Would you do a third?
I believe so. We're going to.
That was my question.
You must have some questions for
Got
me.
some hands up over here.
Did Tom Hanks come to the set?
Yes, he did, and he was at the opening, and he's a wonderful guy, and his wife is Rita Wilson, and they both came to the set. Not a lot, I think they were there, well, she was there on the set acting, but he came twice, I think. He's great, he's great.
What is your favorite type of cake?
Oh.
The one with the hole in it.
But
There's a hole in this cake. A bunt. Did you see the bunts with the flowers in them? So cute.
Unfortunately, I've only seen one other movie that you've been in, and it was Beaches. And it was one of my favorites. And how was it working with
Bette?
Midler?
Oh, we've become very good friends. In fact, we had dinner last week. Yeah, we're good friends, and I adore her. I really do. I can't believe I played her mother. That was just insane. But I developed my character based on my mother, who, when I tap danced, she knew every step and every gesture and every word to every song, and that's how I portrayed Bette's mother.
Hello?
Yes.
Hi. My daughter and I loved you in The Nanny,
Thank you.
number one. And number two, where are you from originally?
Brooklyn. I'm from Brooklyn, New York, and now Brooklyn, it's like the coolest place in the world to live, and the most expensive. I was just back there, and God, it's really built. My goddaughter, or my girlfriend's daughter, just rented a flat there, like not a studio, but a loft, for like $5,000. I think it was my grandmother's walk-up. I do. I just can't believe the prices there. So, yeah, it's incredible. But that's where I'm from, Flatbush. And I went to Erasmus Hall High School. I went to Hofstra University. And I started acting and singing and dancing on Broadway. I was in 2 Broadway shows before I did Funny Girl. I was Barbara Streisand's understudy in Funny Girl. But I was a Ziegfeld showgirl in that play. And then I was singing. I don't know how many of you know this, but I'm primarily a singer. And I was singing at the Eden Rock in Miami Beach, and opening for Don Rickles. And Frank Sinatra was next door in the Fontainebleau. And so he called my manager and asked if I could come and audition for a part in his movie. It was a Tony Rome series called Lady in Cement. And I was the lady in the cement. And I got the part, and he wanted to come and hear me sing, but he was going on, and he actually asked me to come and hear him sing. And so I did, and it was great, and I did that movie. And that's my acting career really started later. I didn't take that too seriously at the time. But then I did a movie with Eli Wallach and Yul Brynner called Romance of a Horse Thief. And Eli Wallach was such an amazing teacher. He would talk to me while I was working, and he would tell me the camera's moving in on you now. And he taught me about the camera and he said, I want you to really pay attention to it's so much in the eyes. Everything's in the eyes. And I learned so much from him.
And you are now an adjunct professor at UCLA.
I am, and I love it.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, my mother would be proud. She never thought she said to me all the time, get a real job.
So you work with actors or singers?
I work with singers, and I teach them how to act. My course is called Acting for the Singer, and I've been teaching for 5 years, and I've just become an adjunct professor. So, thank you.
Dana, we have a question right here.
I wanted to know if which part of your career you preferred, or if there is a preference, the singer or the actor.
I don't even have to take a breath. The singer.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, that's my soul. Oh.
I read that there was a inspiration for the writing of this movie script by Mia's daughter, or something that happened at her school.
No, what happened is that she adopted a child. And this is what she says. She didn't understand, how much, she didn't understand what it took to raise a child and to be a mother. And it gave her the impetus and the understanding to write this piece. I think that's what you read. Or if not, that's what she meant. I believe.
I just wanted to thank you for coming out to Orange County and giving us the privilege of hearing your story, and thank you for the preview. Appreciate it.
My thanks to you and to all of you. Thank you so much.
Hi, really enjoyed the movie. A big fan of now this franchise. Look at that. Can you share some fun, maybe some moments of being on set, acting, being with this cast again, being with this crew, maybe some memorable things that happened while filming this film?
Every day was fun. We would come on the set just eager to work and eager to play and eager to be just with each other. We had a ball, and I love Toronto. I mean, it was like a little New York, you know, without the frenetic energy. And I loved working up there. I brought my granddaughter up there, and we had a great time. I don't think there was one moment that I could choose that would be memorable, because it was all memorable. I'm grateful for this movie. I want you to know, because there are so few women of my age who were given this opportunity at this time in their lives and in their careers. So I'm eternally grateful for it. And I'm so happy that I'm in this movie.
And a blushing bride.
Exactly, a blushing bride.
Yeah.
I have a question. This is definitely a generational movie. It has a lot of generational stories. Do you see any of those stories coming in your own life?
Could you repeat that?
The generational stories with the grandparents, great-grandparents, grandchildren.
Oh yes, my life is just like that. My life is, I have a daughter, I have a granddaughter of 16 who lives with me. Mekenga Hagedven. See? Shame on them. Anyway, and my daughter just had a baby. And the 16-year-old is so attached to him, but he's only 1 year and 3 months. And he is the cutest thing, and I love my grandchildren almost too much. And my daughter, of course.
No such thing as that.
Yeah.
So I think we have time for one last question, if there's one pending.
What is it like being a Jewish woman in the industry?
Great. Everybody's Jewish. Everybody who runs the studios are pretty much all Jews, except, some of the corporate people. But I don't think there's ever been a problem. I've never had a problem. I don't believe there are problems being Jewish. I never felt that. It's funny, but I grew up in Brooklyn on a street, and we never went beyond that street when we were living in Brooklyn. That was my world. And everyone on the street was Jewish. So I thought the whole world was Jewish. So I never really stopped to question it, and I think the whole business is pretty much Jewish. That's the way I feel. I feel good about being Jewish. I'm very proud to be Jewish.
Well, I think that's a good question to end on, and we want to thank you so much for this.
Thank you. Now if I can get up, it's going to be great. Put your lights out, guys. I need to get up.